Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Cardano Live and happy Friday. We have Mark Berger returning to Cardano Live with us on this Friday to go over his IDO, the launch of Occam, and tell us how it went, what can be improved, the current status, and what we're going to do moving forward. Mark, thank you for coming back over to Cardano Live. How are you doing today, sir?
Hey Rick, thanks for having me. Doing fantastic. Thank you.
All right. Okay, so tell us a little bit about how the launch initially went, what went well, and what you've learned from that, and what you have in store for us coming down the pipe.
Yeah, absolutely. So the launch was sold out in literally 10 to 20 seconds. We had like much more demand than we would have ever anticipated, and we got a lot of feedback of things that people in the community would do differently. We have listened to this feedback, and we will improve on those things. The next IDO was already announced yesterday. We're going to do a pretty interesting decentralized exchange routing project, which is incubated through the team of Changely. Changely is a well-known brand in the crypto ecosystem. It trades around 10,000 bitcoins per month in volume. And they are super interested and keen to play a role in enabling the Cardano native tokens through their platform. So we'll see an interesting project coming up very soon on the Occam Razor.
Okay, that sounds good. So it sounds like you're expanding the availability of where the OCC tokens are available to users who wish to purchase them. And I do got to say, I appreciate you. You went on Pay's channel last week. So Big Pay, he's over here in the chat. Big Pay, welcome. Glad to have you here. And Mark gave a very thorough description on Big Pay's channel with a kind of like a reconstruct of the launch. So if you want to see that, go check out Big Pay's channel with Mark's rundown. It was a very in-depth interview. And this, what we're doing this afternoon on Cardano Live, this is a briefer podcast, so we're just going to go over, what's the latest and what are the updates that are coming out. And that's what Mark is here with us for today. There were also, there were some comments on social media about why Uniswap, why did you launch on Ethereum? Did you want to touch on those briefly here?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the reason why we launched on Ethereum is to capture liquidity, to create a solid user base, always based on the narrative that we want to capture this user base and move it over to Cardano. So a very good analogy here is the Hoover Dam, basically. So the Hoover Dam blocks a lot of water from running down to Los Angeles at the end of the day, right? Mm-hmm. And what we're doing is Occam is basically opening the floodgates of the Hoover Dam. The water, you can imagine, is any value that is captured over at Ethereum, and when we're opening the floodgates, that value streams over to the Cardano ecosystem, specifically the Cardano blockchain, and that's what our mission is, to move over the value towards Cardano, and that bridge is going to be in place as long as value moves over to the Cardano chain. And this is not something that can be done in one day. This is a marathon, so those floodgates need to remain open.
Okay, so you have this new option to help manage the floodgates, and you have other options coming out in the future that you may or may not be able to speak to today, or can you tell us about any other options in the future?
Yeah, sure. So what you have seen right now is that we have the primary markets, or a launchpad, as we call it in crypto terms, that is online. So this enables for developers to raise funds that then use those funds to build valuable applications on Cardano. And in the near future, will then enable a secondary market, decentralized exchange, for any type of Cardano assets. And our bridge that we have in place there as well will enable also for other valuable tokens to be withdrawn from regulated centralized exchanges. Those could be like bitcoins that then exist on the Cardano chain. Those could be Ether that exist on the Cardano chain. Should be stable coins. Cardano will need a bunch of stable coins, algorithmic ones, centralized ones that have backed USD in some bank, etc. So our goal is to enable a DeFi layer, and this we're going to do through primary market, which is Occam Razor, and then a secondary market, which is Occam X.
Okay, so with all these options available, people don't have to FOMO. There's going to be more opportunities to acquire these tokens that they would like to get.
Absolutely. We've just started. We've always said we try to achieve a fair distribution, and a fair distribution is not achieved in one token sale. So if you look at our token distribution model, you can see that 27 million tokens are reserved for so-called liquidity mining incentives. What is a liquidity mining incentive? Those are basically programs which we will regularly announce how they work. And they are incentives for people who are using our platform to then, in one way or another, receive those tokens. And 27 million of those tokens are really a lot. And they are used to create engagement on our platforms to then reward the users that have been using the platform. This is used in one way to get adoption, the other way to achieve a fair distribution. Also, today we have listed our token on exchange.bitcoin.com. There is a pair available where you can trade the OCC token against USD Tether. And we're working on creating more Cardano-friendly pairs with the exchange right now. So they have never had a basis pair against ADA. But they're looking into this because they think it's interesting to enable the Cardano community more. But it requires quite some effort, and we're not sure yet when or if this is going to be implemented. But we're in discussions to make this happen on that exchange and on many more in the future as well.
Okay, well, that sounds good. So if you would like to come back over to Cardano Live sometime in the future and let the viewers and users know as things develop, you can provide some updates. You're certainly welcome to come back over for that. So I wanted to remind viewers that be careful with things like Uniswap, although we know what Uniswap is, and a lot of veteran users know how Uniswap works. But if you're a new user, on Uniswap, what happens is once they deploy tokens, like Mark, initial ICO, he talked about over on Pay's channel, they launched enough tokens for about 175 users to acquire tokens, and the rest went on Uniswap. Now, on Uniswap, you have big bag holders, you have people who are professional traders, and they can really pump and dump any coin. They can drive the price up using FOMO to their advantage, trading techniques to their advantage. So be careful when you go out on the exchanges, because you heard me mention it earlier this week. Code is law. The same thing will happen on Cardano when we launch DEXs on Cardano. The code is law, and when you launch tokens in a unbridled marketplace where the only law is the code, there's going to be people who are very good at trading, and they're going to know how to work the market, right, to their advantage, right? I can't say manipulate it because it is what it is. The code does what it does. All right. So for people who are new to DEXs, approach with caution, try to control the FOMO, and try not to overspend your abilities, if you know what I mean. Not financial advice, just some suggestions to think about. Thanks for all the updates so far, Mark. And there was a question from Burke Floyd. Thank you, Burke Floyd, in the chat. Is there an official support channel for OCC issues? He tried to get the community channel, but he's not getting traction there. And just so everyone knows, there are links down below in the description so that you can find the Occam media outlets and the Medium articles describing Occam and a link to the website. Is there a Telegram channel yet or any direct user support, Mark?
So there is a community channel, which is community driven on Telegram. That is currently the main medium where folks in the community can help each other. We do have a Git book with frequently asked questions. So those questions that pop up in the Telegram group regularly are addressed there, and they give like a really solid overview. And as a next step, we'll be working on a forum portal where we will have the ability to create something that is a bit more longer lasting, because in Telegram our community is quite active, and yeah, it's not, let's say, human reading friendly if you have to scroll a couple hundred messages each hour. So you will lose track automatically, even if questions have been discussed, etc. So we think a forum could be a better way. So we're working on that, but it's not yet ready. We'll of course then announce when we have set that up, so people can go there, and yeah, at least then you don't have the same question over and over again. You will have the question once it's answered. You can find it through a search, etc. So that's gonna come next. And yeah, that should hopefully then solve those problems. There is probably a few users that also then reach out through email that today can't solve the answers. So you can always also try that. Just use the contact form. We're still getting a lot of emails, so it may take quite some time before we can answer, but we're looking at them and we're trying to answer them as fast as possible.
Okay, so your email, I saw that on your website, info@occam.fi was one of the email addresses. A discourse forum, or like something like Discourse, where the threaded discussions are more organized as opposed to Telegram, I take it as another one. And for folks who want to start a Reddit thread, feel free to start a community Reddit thread on the Cardano forum where you can ask questions and help each other out and help answer questions. I do Telegram on Cardano Official, and it is kind of hard, but on Reddit, at least you can search by subject and follow the threads and sometimes find your answers to your questions there. So if someone starts a Reddit thread, that would probably help as well until you have the infrastructure up and built. So it's a new project. I guess it takes time to launch and get the team sorting out the communications. Burke, I hope that answered your question there. Burke is an awesome community developer here. He works on the Cardano Pi project. So people can check out his channel over there, Burke Floyd. We have about 5 minutes left. We're not going to rush through this, but I just wanted to let people know, if you have any burning questions, please let me know in the chat. I am checking the chat on both Twitch and on YouTube. So please let us know if you have any burning questions. We'll be wrapping up in about 5 minutes. So Mark, anything else you would like to add? The floor is yours here.
Yeah, thank you. So I would like to introduce the Accelerator Hackathon, where we work together with exciting partners to enhance, motivate, and enable developers to build the next killer application on Cardano. Then next week, we're going to announce partnerships with a few well-known partners in the Cardano ecosystem. So stay tuned for that. On the NFT side, we have an NFT World initiative. Every continent will receive a Cardano-based NFT token, which has OCC tokens that can be minted according a certain vesting period. And we're going to provide those NFT tokens to charity stake pools. And it's then up to them what they do with the minted OCC tokens. The best thing, of course, would be to redistribute them to the stakers in those pools, or the delegators in those pools. I think that's a very cool initiative that we have put together, that each continent will receive such an NFT.
Wow. So you're building out an entire system here, because you have current status. The current status is you have developers who are involved with Occam.fi to develop on Cardano, who are the ones who are funded by the purchase of the Occam.fi tokens, or however that works. I'm not sure how all the wiring works. Then you have the users who can purchase the tokens originally on Uniswap and through the Occam DEX at Occam.fi. Now you're launching on a Bitcoin-based platform, which is that's going on now. And then
so that's exchange.bitcoin.com. It's just a centralized exchange. It's one of many where you will find our token, and it's one of those exchanges that has committed to enable the Ethereum to Cardano bridge, where we will attract the liquidity to move over towards the Cardano network. Exactly.
Okay, and then you're also launching the NFTs, which can go to stake pool operators, mission-driven stake pools, charity-driven stake pools, and they can use those to reward their delegators.
Exactly.
All right. So it sounds like you're covering a well-rounded. You got all the bases covered here. Is there anything missing? Let me think. What else is left? Wow. Coupons. How about coupons for Etsy?
Well, I will write down coupons, and before you know it, we'll have something to announce.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just throwing that out there. Don't commit to anything. There was a question from Candral DePlazes, and this will be the last question, and Mark and I will be wrapping up for the day. It's kind of late over on his side of planet Earth. And he's asking, will the DEX launch with Alonzo? So we know you're launching the DEX on Cardano. And the estimated time for Alonzo is about August. Are you going to be launching the Cardano DEX with Alonzo?
So right now, there is a few question marks on that one. So if I would say I can commit this to happen in August, this wouldn't be comfortable for me. So we're trying our best to make it happen this summer. But there's a few dependencies that are still unfortunately out there. And we're working with some of the brightest minds in the Cardano ecosystem to address those points or dependencies. And when they work out in our favor, we'll be ready. But there is also a chance that this might be taking a little longer. So we'll see. But on our side, we're ready to commit to the very best effort to have this online soon.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mark. And there was a question about the Africa Special next week. Now, the Africa Special is an IOG-driven event on August 29th. Are you guys working with IOG on the Africa Special at all, or do you have involvement with that?
So we do have an NFT token for mission-driven stake pools in the African continent. And we're, of course, interested in supporting with this NFT token, but right now there's nothing that I can commit to. There's still talks going on behind the scenes.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Mark. And yeah, I have to do a little bit of question management because I know that's an IOG event, and that doesn't mean that's also an Occam event. I think we got all the questions there covered well. There was the question, why build on ETH? That was answered at the beginning of the podcast. That was to release the pressure on the dam description. So please check out the beginning of the podcast for that. And I think that's all we got. Anything else, Mark? I think we're good.
For now, we're good. Thanks a lot, Rick, for having me on the show.
Okay, and you're welcome, and feel free to come back anytime. And this is a great podcast to get updates and new information out to the community in a rapid manner. So thank you to all the viewers for being here. Thank you, Mark, as well. And I will see you around the Cardano world here. Take care.
Perfect. Happy weekend for everyone.
Thanks. Bye-bye.